Hey there, you guys. So a friend of mine, Tay Creepin1, recently got in contact with me, and he invited me to something called the Pokemon Victory League, or the PVL as they're calling it. It's a draft-style Pokemon type thing that they're playing on Pokemon Showdown. There's like 12 people, and we had a draft, and now we're battling Pokemon. I'll be honest, I haven't played Pokemon since like I don't know, I was like 15. I don't know shit about competitive Pokemon, but it's something to do rather than sit on my ass at home all day, so I figured why the hell not. We just had the draft last weekend. Everybody got 11 Pokemon. There's a bunch of rules and shit that I ain't gonna go into details about, but I figured I'd just let you guys know this is something that I'm up to, and I was gonna record my matches and, hopefully not get my ass beat by all the other players that probably know a hell of a lot more about Pokemon than me. But right now, there's the Pokemon Showdown. If none of you are familiar with it, I know I'm not. But we're going to just go over my team real quick. I've got tabs open for all of them. And yeah, so first off, we got Garchomp. Pretty awesome fucking Pokemon. I hear, or I was told, that he's pretty decent. I mean, he was tier 1 for our draft, so hopefully that ain't too bad. Yeah. Probably going to be one of my more hard-hitting dragon types. Followed up by Togekiss. Fairy types are really, really new to me. They weren't even a thing when I was playing, but I was told that I should make sure that I have at least one. So I got this guy. He knows Heal Bell, so that's cool. Then we picked up Fortress, tanky motherfucker. I needed a steel type, so why not? He can also use Stealth Rock, and he has Sturdy, which is pretty cool. So I can like throw him. He can be my meat shield. That's pretty cool. Then we got your boy Nidoking. I always loved Nidoking since back in the day. Just cool fucking Pokemon. And poison type, ground type. He's got this sheer force ability, which I did look up. It's pretty freaking ridiculous. Just gives him a hell of a ton of power. So he's gonna be a nice hard hitter for me. But I knew that Nidoking could learn a lot of different types of moves, which is why I just kind of picked him up. I mostly just grabbed a bunch of shit that I thought, hey, I remember this being good back in like the early generations, so I figured why not. The next Pokemon is really the only one that I got that I didn't know anything about. I mean, technically, I got Decidueye, or however the hell you pronounce that. I think it's one of the starters. I don't know jack shit about its movesets or abilities or anything about it, but I needed a grass type. And we did the draft on like a point system, so we had a budget. And yeah, I kind of just picked him up. So hopefully he'll suit my needs for grass and ghost. Then we got Lantern. I was told that he's kind of good. I mean, he was pretty low tier, but I was told that he's okay against some of the newer Pokemon, but I don't know why. I just remember Lantern being a cool Pokemon. That's the main reason why I picked him. Plus, he's like water electric, and, electric's really good against water, so I just want to cover that. And I don't really have a lot of water or electric types yet. So, yeah. Then we got Lopunny. We actually have, you're allowed to pick one Mega. So I went ahead and picked Mega Lopunny. Tay told me that it was like one of the better fighting types. And I figured, well, it's available, so why not? I don't even remember what generation it's from, but I do remember Lopunny existing. But again, Mega Pokemon just were not a thing when I was playing, so that's something for me to look into, I guess. Have a few days to actually do some research and find out how the fuck Mega Pokemon work. But our next pick was Azumarill. I always really liked Marill. Apparently Azumarill is now a fairy type as well. And again, he was like a tier 1 pick. So I'm like, well, I might as well pick him up. I know that he can hit pretty hard. And that's about all I know. So hopefully this guy will do some work for us. But I always thought he was cool. Then we got Ampharos. Ampharos is actually my favorite Pokemon, which is the majority of the reason that I picked him. We all had to pick team names. I am actually the Tippecanoe Ampharos, so that's pretty cool. And I did find out when I was, looking into this that Ampharos has a Mega form down here, which is a Dragon type, which is kind of cool. I did consider taking that, but with Lopunny available and Garchomp kind of, I needed a strong fighting type. Yeah, why not? So yeah, I at least got a pretty decent electric type. And it's a Pokemon that I like. That's cool. And it learns Heal Well. And that's all I know. So, moving on, we have Marowak. I actually picked up the Alolan version. Now, again, Alolan Pokemon are new to me. But it was right around this point. These Pokemon were not specifically in the order that I picked them in. I think it was like Garchomp into Lopunny and then something else. But I remember Nidoking and Fortress were pretty early up there. And I know Marowak was like my second to last pick, I believe. So he's actually kind of in the order. But it was right around that time I'm like, I don't have a fire type. So I kind of panicked and my budget was running out. And I was just like, shit. Well, this is a fire type-ish. Well, Alolan Marowak is. So I hope that helps. Looks like there's a nice bit of abilities here. I don't know what these do, but it looks cool. It reminds me of the Ghost Marowak from the lore, the old games. So yeah, I hope that works. And then last but not least, we have Lapras. This was basically the point where my budget was non-existent and I could literally pick one of the lowest Pokemon that were available. I didn't have an ice type and I was desperately searching for one. Lapras, I mean, it's got some nice HP. Not a lot of my Pokemon are particularly tanky. I mean, I got a little bit of defense, but I wouldn't mind another one. So I decided to pick up Lapras. I know it has a lot of HP and it's got ice moves. So that's pretty much my reasoning. I basically just sat there and I'm like, what are some of the Pokemon that I remember being good? And they're probably not good because now there's like 500 additional Pokemon that I do not know anything about. So hopefully I can catch up on some information in the next few days and stand a chance, at least a little bit. My first opponent is a chap by the name of Nash is Your King, and he's got a couple Pokemon that I don't know anything about, but he'll be my first opponent. I'll be sure to record that, give a little bit of commentary, and we'll see how well I do. But I'll see you guys when that occurs. So, peace.